All right, Matt the Mortgage Guy here. I got a good one today. I'm going to talk about the top 3 tricks used by online lenders. Now, I love making these videos because day in and day out, I'm talking to consumers about mortgage, about purchase, about refinance. These same consumers are also talking to big online lenders that advertise online. They send mailers to your house. They've got fancy commercials. They've got these dazzling rates. And I want to tell you a little bit of, inside the belly of the beast, what these lenders are doing and saying that's probably misleading the vast majority of clients they come across. Now, inevitably, a lot of people close with these big online lenders, not knowing, these tricks and tactics that are being used. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. If you like straightforward mortgage, real estate, investing advice, please consider subscribing to the channel. Smash the like button, if nothing else. And so let's get into it. I saw this. This is what sparked this video. I saw this with a client today. And so this one's going to jump to number 1. It's a new one for 2021 that I have not seen before used by online lenders. But like I told this client on the phone just literally 20 minutes ago, wow, this is a good one. That's a good one. What these lenders were doing, and both of them did it. This client went out and got quotes. And as we're talking, you owe this much. Here's how much the property's worth. Here's a guesstimate your credit score. I can price it right there. I don't need more information from the client to say, okay, it's about this rate with no points. It's about this rate paying points. As we're talking, and this client's trying to get cash out, I said, you know what? Maybe we want to take a little bit less cash out and go to 60% loan to value, because I know that at 60% loan to value, the pricing gets better. And just to clarify for people that don't understand, 60% loan to value means that your loan is 60% of what it's worth. So a $400,000 loan, if $400,000 value, and you have a $240,000 loan, that's 60% loan to value. If you stay at the 60% or below, the terms are better, lower rate, lower costs. And so what these lenders have done is they've artificially increased the value, and I'm laughing because everything I looked at, this property is worth about $600,000. Maybe 620, right? We're in a hot market, things are selling. Maybe 620. One lender had it estimated at 703, the other lender at 718. So here's what's going to happen, and here's why it's obviously a lender misrepresenting something and a trick, if you want to call it. Loan amount 420 or whatever it was. Appraised value 718. By doing that and by putting 718 versus 600, a real value, their system spits out better pricing. So they present this better pricing to the client. Now here's what happens 3, 4, 5 weeks down the road. The appraisal gets done on a cash out refinance. They're more than likely going to need an appraisal. It's not going to get a waiver. And the value comes back at 620. And then they say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, sorry to inform you, I had it in the system as more, but the appraiser, they brought it in at 620,000. So the rate's going to be a little bit higher and it's going to be more expensive for that rate. Now, the person who's selling this loan, this online lender, be like, hey, listen, I got no control over how much it appraises for, whether intentional or not. They're showing better pricing based on a high price that's just never going to happen. And so I felt like that was misleading. I told the client, listen, let's set up realistic numbers. If it appraises for 700, great. We'll get better pricing. But let's set up, 600, maybe 610 as the value, and let's do it that way. That way, numbers aren't going to change and get worse, right? And so anyway, putting in an appraised value that's super unrealistic, which generates better pricing that you can present to a client to maybe get them started in contract. Online lender trick number 1, and it's a new one. Good job, guys. Hopefully you don't fool too many people and then, change your mind down the road. But you wonder why they get bad reviews, because somebody's pissed off when they're 3, 4, 5 weeks in, they've already paid for an appraisal. They're already that far in. They're like, forget it. Let's just close it. I know it's more expensive and it's not what they promised up front. But again, like I told this client, this person who's working in a call center doesn't have an online reputation to protect. They don't have people referring them business from the local community that they really want to take care of so that their good reputation stays intact. So anyway, enough beating that dead drum. Watch out for that. Another trick, and I only see a few companies that do it, but still companies are doing this in 2021. Trick number 2 is paying money up front. I've seen it a couple different ways. I've seen it, you got to pay $500, we'll credit that to the appraisal. I've seen you got to pay us $1,000 up front, we'll credit towards the fees. The only reason mortgage lenders ever want to collect money up front is to retain you as a client and to kind of like, I don't know, trap you into this. Because once you've got $1,000 deposit or a $500 deposit with a certain lender, it makes it harder to go out and use another lender. 95% of lenders and 100% of good lenders out there are going to present options. Here's what we can do. You know us, you know our reputation. We're going to do right by you. The numbers are going to get better, not worse. We're going to deliver on what we promise. If for whatever reason, what I've presented to you or what I've talked to you about is not delivered on, you switch, you go to another lender, you're not vested. You don't have any skin in the game with your current lender, with us, right? And so I feel like that is something that is exclusively used. I haven't heard of any local lenders, any quality direct lender or broker who's in your community ever doing that. It's only these big box companies, and the only reason I could think of they do it is for that stickiness. Hey, listen, if you get this person's application, the credit run, and this $500 deposit, there's a much higher likelihood that we get that deal to the finish line. That's true. I'm sure the data shows that. It's not a good way to do business, and I don't agree with it, but I'm sure that's what they're thinking, and that's why they do it. So avoid that at all costs. If they ask for something up front as a mortgage lender, I would take that as a red flag and I would run far away. Block that number on your cell phone. Okay, third and final one, and this is one that every single online lender uses, and it obviously works because people keep doing business with them. They advertise a super low interest rate and they lure you in, and people just are like, whoa, 2.25%, 30-year fixed, and they just go towards that light. They don't even read box A of their loan estimate that says points for this rate, 2.2 equals $9,862. $10,000 up front for that rate. Kyle, my buddy out in Ohio, Win the House You Love, shout out to him. He talks about this as kind of like prepaid interest, which is a good way to look at it, right? Rather than take a rate where you're not paying any points, you might pay 2 points, and it's like paying interest up front so that you can get a lower interest rate and pay less on a monthly basis. It's essentially what it is, right? And may or may not make sense for you to pay points, but the big online lenders are going to just always bake in points and always do that so that they can lure you in with a low rate. It's very often not in your best interest, especially if, let's use this example, 2.25% interest rate that cost you over 2 points, $10,000. If that saves you $100 a month, that means it takes you 100 months to break even. Now, people don't stay in their mortgages for 8+ years. A lot of people don't even stay in their houses that long, but they get a new mortgage every 3 to 5 years. And so if you paid $10,000 up front to save $100 a month, and then you refinance 39 months later, or sell your house 39 months later, or even 44 months later, or 62 months later, you've lost. That money up front is just gone. It's a sunk cost. So look out for that. Talk to a high quality mortgage advisor that's going to give you good advice, not just flash a flashy rate where you're like, whoa, that sounds good to me. I mean, you can brag about it to your friends, whether it was a sound investment decision or not, you know, that $10,000 today to save $100 a month, whether that makes sense or not, maybe doesn't matter to you if you can brag around the water cooler that you got 2.25 on a 30-year fix. But a high quality mortgage advisor is going to start off at a much higher rate at a much lesser cost because they know more times than not it's going to make more sense for you financially. All right, enough of that. 3 things to look out for, online lender tricks. Hopefully this was helpful. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing. I really enjoy doing this content. I really enjoy getting feedback from all over the country, people that found value in it. Thanks for watching.